Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to begin the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman 2024. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed dignitaries and distinguished guests. Welcome to the second edition of the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman, organized by the New Indian Express Group and the Morning Standard. This is an evening where we come together to celebrate the power of words, the beauty of storytelling, and the brilliance of those who bring these stories alive. I'm Vidya Iyengar, the features editor of the New Indian Express, and will be your host for this evening of recognition and celebration. Before we begin, I would request everyone to please put their phones on silent for the duration of the program. A special mention to our sponsors, TVS Motor Company and Gateway Distriparks Limited. We would now request our chief guest for this evening, Puja Swami Swarupanandaji, the global head of the Chinmaya Mission, to come on stage, along with Mr. Manoj Kumar Sontalia, the chairman and managing director of the New Indian Express Group. Mr. Prabhu Chawla, the editorial director. Ms. Santwana Bhattacharya, the editor. And Ms. Lakshmi Menon, the director and CEO. We will formally begin today's program with the dignitaries on stage lighting the lamp. I now request Mr. Manoj Kumar Sontalia and Mr. Prabhu Chawla to felicitate our chief guest, Puja Swami Swarupanandaji. The Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman commemorates our visionary founder, Sri Ramnath Goenka Ji, who deeply believed in the transformative power of literature. His belief was that literature not only shapes society, but also enriches minds and unlocks new perspectives. In line with his vision, today, the awards will be presented in three categories: the Lifetime Achievement Award, the Debut Award for Non-Fiction, and the Debut Award for Fiction. I now invite Mr. Manoj Kumar Sontalia to share his vision behind the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman.
Pujya Swami Swarupanandanji, distinguished guests, esteemed authors, publishers, members of the jury, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great privilege to welcome each of you to the second edition of the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman, an award instituted by the New Indian Express Group to celebrate and honor literary excellence in India in memory of our founder, Ramnath ji. We deeply are honored by the esteemed presence of Pujya Swami Swarupanandan ji, Global Head of Chimnaya Mission, who has graciously consented to be our chief guest today, bestowing this occasion with even great honor and distinction. Swamiji, it's a very special moment for us to have you as our chief guest, especially as it was Swami Chimnayanand ji who graced the B.D. Goenka Excellence in Journalism Award way back in 1988 as chief guest at the invitation of our founder Ramnath ji, who initiated these awards. Swami Chimnayanand ji's powerful words of wisdom to be fearless and to hold respect for our country have guided us throughout our journey. These words still resonate deeply with us, and it's an absolute privilege to have you with us today. Your presence inspires all of us in the literary and media fields, reminding us of the vital role literature and media play in the nurturing a reflective, emphatic, and informed society. The Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman carries forward the values and ideals that Ramnath ji stood for: truth, integrity, and a commitment to empowering society through knowledge. He believed deeply in the power of the written word to foster understanding, challenge norms, and inspire change. The second edition is a testament to the New Indian Express Group's commitment not only to recognizing but also celebrating the diversity and depth of the Indian literature. This year, we honor the remarkable contributions of seasoned voices and fresh perspectives of emerging writers who are shaping the future of Indian literature. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the tremendous work undertaken by our distinguished jury, led by Mr. Pavan Varma, in selecting the awardees. There was no small task. With each work, they encountered a unique view of India, a nation as multifaceted as the stories that capture it. Each book reviewed was a window into our society, our dreams, our struggles, and our triumphs, reminding us that literature serves not only as a reflection of who we are, but also an exploration of what we aspire to become. Today we honor those authors whose work have risen above the ordinary to touch the extraordinary. Their words are powerful testimony to the resilience, complexity, and the beauty of human experience. Each of these authors have, in their own way, dared to tell the truth, to challenge norms, and to give voice to those often left unheard. Their narratives compel us to reflect, to empathize, and to connect with life and realities beyond our own. To the awardees, let me extend my heartfelt congratulations. This recognition is a tribute to your skills, perseverance, and creativity. You have given us stories that will remain with us long after the final page has been turned. We hope this honor will serve as encouragement to continue sharing your stories, as each one contributes to the larger narrative of our country and our collective identity. I would like to acknowledge our sponsors for their invaluable support in making this event possible, and I thank our guests for being here today to celebrate the power of the word, a cause that was dear to our founder, Ramnath ji. As we honor these remarkable writers and their contributions, let us remember that literature is not just a record of the times we live in, it is also a beacon lighting the way forward. May we continue to cherish and support the power of the words, the richness of storytelling, and the enduring legacy of Sri Ramnath Goenka. Thank you, and congratulations once all to all the awardees.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the vision behind the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman. Our chief guest for this evening is a visionary leader, author, and global spiritual mentor. Pujya Swami Swarupananda ji is a direct disciple of His Holiness Swami Chinmayananda and exemplifies wisdom, visionary leadership, and transformative impact. As the global head of the Chinmaya mission, he leads a network of over 350 Chinmaya trusts worldwide, championing initiatives that spread the timeless wisdom of Vedanta. Under his guidance, the mission operates over 100 educational institutions, spearheads rural development projects, delivers healthcare, and drives sustainable environment programs, uplifting countless lives and enriching society. As the Chancellor of the Chinmaya Vishwa Vidyapeeth, a truly unique university, Swami Swarupananda leads a revolutionary educational movement. CVV seamlessly blends ancient Indian knowledge with contemporary disciplines, shaping forward-thinking leaders prepared to meet the challenges of the modern world. A prolific author, Swami Swarupananda ji has penned works that bridge the spiritual world and the practical aspects of life. His commentaries on timeless scriptures, including the Mahamrityunjaya mantra and the Sankat Mochan, reflect his deep spiritual insight. Beyond these, he addresses contemporary challenges through his widely acclaimed titles, including Storm to Perform, A Guide to Resilience and Purpose, Life Management Techniques, and Journey into Health, offering pathways to holistic well-being and balance. Swami Swarupanandaji's most recent co-authored work on Indian knowledge systems forms a foundational pillar of CVV's curriculum. The pioneering text seamlessly integrates ancient wisdom with contemporary applications, empowering students to drive personal transformation and cultivate societal harmony. It is with immense honor and pleasure that we invite our chief guest to address us.
Namaste and greetings to all of you. My respect for the dignitaries and all those who preserve, who protect, and are keen learners, knowers, and those who spread knowledge in this world. I'm very happy to be on this platform, giving award to some of our best writers and to be in the presence of great people like all of you here. I'm also honored that Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, who started his career as a journalist, became a freedom fighter, and in his pursuit for truth, excellence, as well as to benefit society, became one of India's greatest saints, philosopher, orator, author, writing many books on the highest philosophy in a contemporary knowledge. As a child, the most fascinating stories, which I think many of you must also read, were the Jataka tales as well as the fairy tales. And certain values that we got from those simple children's stories that we read, and others which we could not read because we didn't know the Sanskrit language, was the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and some stories told by our grandmothers. And we can all look back in our lives and see how the works of these timeless masters has molded us, affected our lives, and in a way guided us in finding our own self and in reaching great heights of success. The Lifetime Achievement Award, which is being given to Sri Ruskin Bond, he has made a very beautiful statement where he has said that soldiers don't die, they just fade away. And writers don't die, they just go out of print. It makes me wonder that when millions and billions of writers over the years maybe have gone out of print, even forgotten, these timeless epics such as the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the commentaries of great masters and their works, particularly the spiritual masters, how have they survived over centuries or even millenniums? What is the impact of their work? And recognizing the timeless quest of human beings and how they have been addressed in these works makes us wonder what skill, what art did they have to create such timeless work that never gets outdated and which is appreciated, relevant, and creates a great impact on society and our lives. What are those values that they have imparted through those stories and in the method that they have taught, and rather expound those stories that has left that mark on society that has molded our nation and even certain civilizations in the world from time immemorial. Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, in his very first article in 1949 in the National Herald, wrote about a mochi. These days, many people have forgotten them, but I am happy to say that again I am seeing some roadside sheds where we can see these mochis, cobblers, who still repair old shoes. And the way he wrote about them in the newspaper, and reading that, very often I ask myself that the art of writing, when we write either fiction, whether we write facts, whether as journalists we report, the important thing is that writing of ours, that words, what does it stir in the minds or the hearts of people that can bring out from them not only their greater potential, their better self, and make them think, in fact, independently to come to conclusions as to what is most beneficial for them in their lives and to the world around them. When he writes in his books, one would get inspired, one would get stirred, one would start thinking. And as the great masters have said about the speech and the word with which we communicate with each other, by which we can transform lives or create wars, how should that speech be? First and foremost, it should be that which communicates to us the truth. Now, one will say, in the books of fiction, in writing of fictions, where does truth stand? And I found one beautiful verse in Sri Ramcharitmanas, which says that it is the truth that gives this illusory world, or even a work of fiction, a reality, because when there are certain facts, that are said, that even fiction gets reality in the minds of people. Long ago, I had a chance of addressing another newspaper group or news group. And it was a question-answer session. And when I spoke about responsible journalism, and I just expressed, as a common citizen, what would we like to see, whether in the reports given, in the news given, in the books and articles that we read, and especially those which are meant to influence us. What narratives we give, are we honest? Are we truthful in what we narrate? And as the rishis have said, Satyam vada, but hitam vada. Speak the truth, but that truth which is for the well-being of the people. A truth which becomes harmful to someone should not be spoken. An untruth which may be pleasing should also not be spoken. But the truth which has been spoken for the well-being of the people should be said in such a manner, in a pleasing manner, not to please someone, but in a pleasing manner. And that way, the communication is effective, the impact is effective. When I was saying this, some of the reporters or journalists got up and said, we are supposed to just report facts, not the truth. At that moment, I didn't understand what did he mean. So I said, what is the difference between a fact and a truth? Yeah? And even if you say that you have to report a fact, then that fact must be reported without any prejudice, without any bias, so that people who read the facts, who hear the facts, are able to determine for themselves what is the true import of that thing that which has been reported. When fact and truth are muddled up and falsehood is spread in the name of facts, which is already colored by prejudices, etc., then such reporting becomes very often harmful. And today we see around the world that responsible journalists have to be daring, have to be independent, so that they are not conditioned by what they are forced to say or to narrate. If you think about the well-being of society, those books, those writings, those reports that lead us to find our better self, to lead us to be more productive members of society, to bring forth unity, harmony in society, to bring forth solutions rather than just criticisms. Such writing definitely benefits society. Many of our writers, even in our Indian languages, are writing some amazing books, and their works should be recognized and in fact one day become international works, in which we are not just telling things about the past or the present, but we link the traditional with the contemporary, the past with the present, and enrich our lives with the knowledge systems that have evolved over centuries, and not just brush away the old. And therefore, these timeless lessons that we learn from such great reporters like Sanjay, when he reports the Mahabharata, something that we can really learn from and adore. How he reports the entire Mahabharata with such accuracy and such clarity, especially the war, and without any prejudice, even though we can see that he can recognize what is dharma. He leans towards it, but he mentions the facts so that the blind king could come to his own senses and recognize what is the consequences of their acts and what it may bring about. I'm very happy to be here, and of course, as we know, Sri Ramnath Goenka, another great, daring, independent thinker, and in honor of whom we have this Sahithya Samman gathering. And I congratulate the awardees who are going to be given the award by such a prestigious institution, guided by such a visionary as Sri Ramnath Goenka. Hari Om, and thank you everyone.
We would like to thank Pujya Swami Swarupananda ji for sharing his words of wisdom. As many of you know, awards like the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman are not just about recognizing one book, but also about honoring excellence in writing, storytelling, and thought-provoking ideas. And behind every award is a discerning jury who plays an essential role in selecting books that make it to the final stage. Editor Santwana Bhattacharya will now share with us the rigorous selection process and will go on to announce the winners.
Good evening and namaskar to all dignitaries and friends, our honorable chief guest, Swami Swarupanandji, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Manu S Pillai, Editorial Director, Mr. Prabhu Chawla, CEO Ms. Lakshmi Menon, and everyone else here. Welcome to the second edition of the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman. I stand here with a sense of joy, of course, but more than that, moved by the awe and the wonder that all of us feel when we come face to face with the word, an entity so utterly mundane and familiar, and yet also forever a stranger. We have gathered here to celebrate the power of the word, a power that it exerts both in being said and what remains unsaid. It was iconized by our legendary founder, Ramnath Goenka. Imagine a blank editorial whose very silence echoes through the ages. Such deep awareness would not be out of place in a poet. It is fitting, therefore, to have a literary award instituted in his honor, and an inherited privilege for all of us who toil in the wake on the pyramid of words. At some level, they seem intimately connected. Journalism, the first draft of history, non-fiction, the meticulous second draft, and fiction, which is truth itself, holding up a mirror to the ecstasies we scale, the depths we plumb, the internal fractures, and the healings we go through. They share a power that will endure, that will hopefully continue to sensitize us in a world where conflict and war and the scale of inhuman excess leave us numbed. That did not make our task any simpler. I can assure you that selecting the news of the day is not easy. Not an easy job at all. So taking time off the news machine, getting out of the here and now may seem to be a pleasurable thing to do, but this was no holiday, but real work. We had to choose the best work of fiction, non-fiction, and a lifetime award for literary achievement. Could humble journalists pull off that job? We did. We did by turning it into some sort of a festival of words, not one editorial department, no center out of the 30 plus across south of India and Orissa, where we publish, was left out in the process. Choices were forwarded from all over. A carnival in spirit, but rigorous in its execution. It meant a lot of reading, swimming out from the shallows of journalism and immersing ourselves in the deeper literary waters of our buzzing, argumentative democracy. Thus, we arrived at a long list of books and authors, nearly 40 titles. From the long list, two of us, my esteemed colleague and author Ravi Shankar and I, assisted by some of our senior editors, prepared the short list. It was time to break our silos. It was, for instance, do not always find time to read fiction. There was a time when I carried in my head a Tolstoy or a Bakhtin, and most of the comparative literature that I do now is all about comparing the newspapers. What I have done, what we have done, what the others have missed. This gave me a chance to force read some of the brilliant work being done in the genre today. Now it was time for the jury. Here, allow me to register a touch of sadness. Vivek Debroy, economist, author, and chairman of PM's Economic Advisory Council, has left us. He was the chairman of the jury in the first Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman. And if not for his health, he would have joined us this year too. Last year, he was there in Bhubaneswar for our Odisha Lit Fest, where the first set of winners received their Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman, Perumal Murugan for Lifetime Achievement, Anirudh Kanisetti for in non-fiction, and Devika Rene for fiction. This time, former diplomat and author Pavan K Varma very graciously stepped in to chair the jury, which also had former Foreign Secretary and author Vikas Swarup, as well as Manu S Pillai, one of the dignified voices on the front lines of what is a new surge in popular history writing. From the New Indian Express team, Ravi Shankar and I joined them, and I can tell you, very robust discussions followed before we arrived at this year's winners. In the non-fiction category, 4 books were in the fray. The Day I Became a Runner by Sohini Chattopadhyay, The Yellow Sparrow by Santa Khurai, H-Pop, The Secretive World of Hindutva Pop Stars by Kunal Purohit, and Neerja Chowdhury's How Prime Ministers Decide. The fiction section had 3 contenders: Acts of God by Kanan Gill, The Scent of the Fallen Star by Aishwarya Jha, and Western Lane by Chetna Maru. And the winner of the 2024 Ramnath Goenka Samman are Neerja Chowdhury in the non-fiction category, Aishwarya Jha in the fiction category, and for Lifetime Achievement Award, it was almost an unanimous vote for a non-Nigerian writer from the Dehradun Hills, whose stories of awkward boys, friendly ghosts, and the natural world never seem to age. Ruskin Bond had tough competition from other literary luminaries, but no one from the jury could resist Mr. Bond's charms. Please join me to congratulate the unique winners of this year's Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman. Thank you.
And now for the most awaited part of this evening. Let's begin the celebration of new voices. The first award is one that honors a voice in the world of non-fiction, a writer whose first book has made a powerful impact, offering insight, depth, and a fresh perspective on the world. This year, the Best Debut Non-Fiction Award goes to veteran journalist Neerja Chowdhury for her book, How Prime Ministers Decide. A career of half a century gives her the span of epochs, from the emergency to the present day, convulsive and transformative decades, years and moments. Neerja Chowdhury has borne journalistic witness to entire chapters in Indian politics. The distillation of this work in her first book, How Prime Ministers Decide, brings us intimate portraits of 6 of India's most consequential prime ministers after Jawaharlal Nehru and before Narendra Modi. Painted and framed in the lonely moments when they were called upon to make choices that inflected the course of history. The montage is embedded within a rich narrative analysis of the evolutionary arc of the government's 3 branches. For giving future generations a first draft of history in one of its seminal zones, we are pleased to give Neerja Chowdhury the 2024 Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman for non-fiction. This award comes with a cash prize of Rs 1 lakh, a citation, and a trophy. I now request Ms. Neerja Chowdhury to join us on stage to collect the award and say a few words.
Esteemed figures on the stage, Swamiji, Mr. Manu S Pillai, Prabhu Chawla, a colleague of old years, Lakshmi Menon, and of course, again, a colleague of years, Santwana Bhattacharya. I thank you very much for this honor and to be given a literary award. Not an award in journalism, but a literary award, Sahithya Samman. And that too in the name of Ramnath Goenka. who was a trendsetter. We'd seen him, and a man who had the courage to stand up for what he believed in. I will say that much of, or most of what I have learned as a media person has been with the Indian Express family. With the New Indian Express and with the Indian Express, of which I'm still the contributing editor. That's why this award, in the name of Ramnath Goenka, means all the more to me. And I have always felt proud of my association with the Indian Express. So thank you very much once again.
Our next award for the evening is for the Best Fiction Debut. This category honors an author whose storytelling and narrative craft have left a lasting impression on the literary world. The winner of the Best Fiction Debut is Aishwarya Jha for her book, The Scent of Fallen Stars. For her first novel, Aishwarya Jha took on a daunting narrative structure. The Scent of Fallen Stars traces two stories of love and longing separated by a little more than 2 decades. Between them, they sketch the image of a changing India, especially Delhi and its privileges framed by class and gender. Intimate moments as well as insightful resolutions are sketched with deft, impressionistic dabs. Shifts between voices and times are presented dramatically, yet in an unstrained flow. A dry humor suffuses this outsider's view of the nation and its capital. For showing rare felicity with the craft of the novel, we are pleased to give Aishwarya Jha the 2024 Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman for fiction. This award includes a cash prize of Rs 1 lakh, a citation, and a trophy. I request Aishwarya Jha to join us on stage to collect the award and also say a few words.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored, and thank you, Swamiji, and thank you to all the esteemed dignitaries on stage. So much has been said about the power of the written word, and I've always loved this quote by V.S. Naipaul, where he said, "Autobiographies can lie, facts can be distorted, but fiction reveals the writer completely." And I truly believe that even if we're writing fiction, we're telling a truth about the world. And as these awards are so much about India and about showing the true face of India, the diversity of India and the beauty of India under a surface which can seem very chaotic, I feel very honored to receive this award. And I just want to say, most of all, thank you to my family, especially to my incredible mother, who has been my inspiration, my guru, and who has not let me give up, even though I wanted to so many times. So, Ma, this award is for you.
Now we come to one of the most prestigious moments of this evening's ceremony, the Lifetime Achievement Award. This special award is presented to an author whose work has had a profound and lasting impact on the literary world. Through a lifetime of dedication, passion, and unparalleled contribution, this writer has inspired generations of readers and writers alike. It's with great pride that we announce this year's recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award, Mr. Ruskin Bond. Atop his perch in Landor, where the Masuri flowers meet a ghostly mist every morning, Ruskin Bond seems to inhabit a hermit's world, blissfully aloof from the noise and quotidian dross of the mainland. Yet, he has a presence, a glowing presence in the life of our collective mind. His real world and fictional habitat, a stretch of the Western Shivalics that he populates with characters real and imagined, lives in generations of readers like a sunny winter's day. A crisp, bright, pine-scented time zone where even the clock lingers. His oeuvre is immense and his focus lucent. The hundreds of stories, novels, essays, memoirs he has published have brought joy to children of all ages. Some of his works have been made into films, but even before that, they have been played on a private silver screen for all of us. In a world of literary luminaries, he has a wooden cottage all of his own, somewhere on the edge. For being an exceptional bridge between readers past and future, it is our pleasure to present Ruskin Bond the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman Lifetime Achievement Award for 2024. This award comes with a cash prize of Rs 2 lakhs, a citation, and a trophy. We have a special message from Ruskin Bond, which we will now play.
This is really a happy moment for me. Sitting here, a bit of an invalid in my Mussoorie home, with the news that the New Indian Express is instrumental in giving me the Ramnath Goenka Lifetime Achievement Award for writing, for literature. And I only wish I could be with you, but after 90, sometimes health issues do rather limit you or limit your movements, and traveling has become a bit of a problem for me. I don't see too well now, and although I do manage to still write, if I put my nose right down into the middle of a book or the writing pad, and I read a lot too when I can, and I read newspapers too. I'm a newspaper addict. So it's here I am in my 91st year, receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award, and I only wish I could be with you. But I'm better than that. I'm sending my loving, beautiful granddaughter Shrishti to receive the award, because I'm certainly not going to let it pass me by. Thank you very much for it. Thank you for the citation and the honor.
To collect the award on Mr. Bond's behalf, we have his great-granddaughter, Ms. Shrishti Bond, who will do the honors. Please join us on stage, Shrishti. I would now request Shrishti Bond to say a few words on behalf of Mr. Ruskin Bond.
Good evening to one and all present here. Today, I'm receiving this award on behalf of my grandfather, Mr. Ruskin Bond. He is the most loving, caring, and the kindest person I've ever known. His thoughts are so beautiful. His energy is so soulful. I genuinely feel that he's like God in human form to me. Whenever I meet people, they always tell me how much they love him and how they pray for his good health. Today, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each one of you and people around the globe for deeply loving him and praying for his good health. Our entire family is immensely thankful and grateful. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. I now invite Ms. Lakshmi Menon, the Director and CEO of the New Indian Express, to say a few words.
Pujya Swami Swarupanandaji, Global Head Chinmaya Mission, esteemed awardees, distinguished guests, members of the jury, ladies and gentlemen. As we come close to this award ceremony, on behalf of the New Indian Express Group, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Pujya Swami Swarupanandaji for gracing this event as our chief guest. Swamiji, your presence has added immense significance to this occasion, reminding us of the values that elevate the human spirit through literature and art. Thank you for your inspiring words and your support for the art and literature. Our gratitude also goes to Swami Mitranandaji for his assistance in ensuring Swami Swarupanandaji's presence here today, and to Manisha ji from Chinmaya Mission, thank you for your seamless coordination. To our esteemed authors and awardees, congratulations once again on your well-deserved recognition. Each of you has made an invaluable contribution to our literary landscape, reminding us of the power of stories to connect, challenge, and inspire. Your works stand as beacons of creativity and courage, and we're proud to honor your achievements through the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman.
A special note of appreciation goes to our distinguished jury, chaired by Mr. Pavan Varma, for their dedication in the selection process. Their task was certainly challenging, and we're deeply grateful for their time and commitment to this cause. We also extend our deep gratitude to our sponsors, TVS Group and Gateway District Parks, whose support has helped in making today's event a success. Their continued commitment enables us to promote literary excellence and honor creative voices across the nation. I thank each of you for joining us in this celebration of literature. Your presence reflects a shared belief in the power of words and storytelling to enrich our society and ensures the Ramnath Goenka Sahithya Samman not only honors outstanding authors, but also reminds us of this enduring legacy that Ramnath ji has left behind, his unshakable belief in the power of words. As we come to close of this session, I would also like to thank the organizing team and everyone who's worked behind the scenes for the hard work in making this celebration possible. Thank you, and we look forward to coming together again to celebrate more voices, stories, and achievements in the years to come.
We now come to a very special moment. We'd like to invite all our esteemed awardees for a group photograph on stage. I request all of you to kindly come to the front so that we can capture this occasion. Please come on stage.